S1 Summer 2011 Question 7. Part 1. X plus Y. If I shade this in the diagram, I can see that I have the probability of B. Part 2. W, X and Y. Again, shading that in the diagram, I can see that I have the probability of A or B happening. Part 3, I'm asked for W. Shading that in, I can see that that is the probability of A and not B. Part 4, I'm asked for Z, which is everything outside the circles, and that's the probability of not A and not B happening. Part 5 is a fraction, and the conditional probability formula gives us a fraction. So we're looking for X, which is the probability of A and B, over W plus X, which is the probability of A. So that's the probability of B, given that A has already happened. The probability of B, given that A has already happened, is the probability of B and A all over the probability of A, which is 1/4. Probability of A, given that B has happened, is the probability of A and B divided by the probability of B, which is 1/5. Both of these formulas can be rearranged to give me the probability of A and B. It's 1/4 the probability of A, and in this one it is 1/5 the probability of B. Look at the third formula then, the probability of B and not A happening divided by the probability of not A is 1/8. I'm going to sketch a Venn diagram, and if I draw A and B in it, the probability of B happening and not A happening is the shaded area. So it's the probability of B minus the probability of A and B happening. I'm looking for an equation which is in terms of probability of A. So I'm going to take my previous answers and replace the probability of B by 5 times the probability of A, divide by 4, and the probability of A and B as probability of A over 4. So probability of B and not A happening is actually the probability of A. Now substitute these into the probability of B, given that A has not happened. Well, that's the probability of B and not A. It's the probability of A over the probability of not A, so 1 minus the probability of A, and that has to be 1/8. Cross multiplying, 8 times the probability of A has to equal 1 minus the probability of A. 9 times the probability of A is 1. So that tells me that the probability of A is 1/9.